Disclaimer. Please be aware that the following video may contain disturbing or inappropriate content and language that may not be suitable for all audiences, including children. The purpose of this video is to educate and inform parents and communities about the potential dangers that children may face online, and to provide insight on those who may cause these dangers. It's important to note that the individuals depicted in this video are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and should not be harassed or harmed based on their actions as depicted in this video. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another video. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. Also, turn on notifications so you guys are notified when we upload new videos. Guys, like I've said before, I have a handful of videos that I've never been able to post for multiple different reasons. Some get lost, some I have trouble loading them back up from the file that they were saved under. Yeah, whatever the case is, this video is from last summer, actually. And this was one where the guy, you know, you're going to see, well, you won't see this. He tried meeting up multiple times or planned it, you know, and he was one of those ones that were skeptical. He pulled into another parking lot, we believe, at one time and was watching from a distance, saying he was there when he wasn't. And maybe saw us roll up with the cops. But the guy we never ended up meeting him out at a store like we tried to do. But unfortunately for him, we had his address. He was very close to us, within 5 minutes type close. So we decided to pull up in there. And, you know, you guys know Chris. Chris is all for the house calls. He doesn't care. It doesn't scare him. It doesn't bother him. Listen, guys, I don't think it's good to pull up to somebody's house and try to confront them for doing this type of stuff. You know, it's not the smartest thing, and I don't encourage it. With that being said, we did do that. And, it's just hard. It's hard to not do it when you know where they live. You have their address. You know what they've said. You know where they work. You know the type of, you know, their history, where they've been around other, you know, whatever the case is. It's hard to just not do anything, right? And just turn it in. And so we went and approached this gentleman at his house. And yeah, guys, check this one out. Sorry for the interrupted footage. Had some problems with our storage on our phones that we were recording on. But yeah, guys, this was just another case of an older gentleman talking to what he thinks is year-old. And yeah, check this one out. And it's kind of interesting too, because his partner or husband or boyfriend, I don't really recall exactly which one he was, but they lived together, comes out and joins the conversation. So yeah, check this video out, guys. Yeah, I need to speak with you, my man. Here, can I see your phone so I can show him? So Marco, so I work with an organization. We monitor online activity between adults and
Yes.
And I think you may know kind of what you've been doing.
That's why I didn't do it.
What didn't you do?
Well, what happened was that I was on an app.
Yep.
And he had contacted me.
Yep. He messaged you first?
He messaged me first.
So I have the messages, and it doesn't look like that.
No.
On Grindr, it shows that you messaged him first.
Well, I think he had liked me or something. I said hello, something like that. And then it went, and he's like, oh, and I was like, oh, God. I used to, you know, think what it would be like. So we started talking, whatever. And every time, whatever, I was like, yeah.
Well, so here's the thing. So they've been monitoring it, and they sent me all the messages, and I've read through everything. Yeah. Right. So I have everything here.
Yes.
From start to finish.
Yes.
Okay. And I just need you to be honest with me because obviously you're a grown man.
Yes.
And I know you have a husband.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So here's the deal. I don't believe you're telling the truth because I know what you've said, and I know you know and I know you were okay with it.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, were you not okay with it?
I wasn't. Like I said, what happened was that he had messaged me, and he was just like, oh, whatever. And I was like, okay, well, let's chat, because I didn't know if he was maybe or whatnot, because I've heard of that, and it just went from conversation to conversation. Yes, there were moments where it was a little fanciful.
Your fantasy?
Not mine, but just what it would be like, and every time you get that thought, I'd just be like, no, I can't do this, blah, blah, blah.
So you say, so when he tells you, you say, wow, damn, he says right away, I'm sorry, I'll leave you alone if you want. And you say, no, we can chat.
Yeah.
First off, why do you want to chat with him?
Well, I didn't, honestly.
But why even?
It was just, like I said, a weird thing, because I had been on there, and we don't have the best relationship, so I was, looking around, and then he had messaged me on there, and I was like, oh, if you want to chat, and that's where it just like springboarded. So.
Right, and you understand that that's a felony, correct? To be having it under your knowledge of Florida statute, and trust me, this is, I do this, I catch online, and what you were doing, this is a felony. To, under your knowledge, to talk to what you think and believe is a 15-year-old, to have these type of conversations is a felony. You understand that?
I didn't know that, no.
But you know, as a human.
Yeah, as a human, I was wrong. That's why I never acted.
But you still, like, you would still reach out to him and say,
Well,
I'm sorry, I got nervous, I want to do it.
Like I said, I wasn't sure if there were issues, mentally with him or whatnot, and that's where I was fishing for information, and like I said, just
right. So you're more concerned about his safety.
No. Just I thought it was weird why he had messaged me. That's why. And at first I was like, the feeling was weird. I knew it was incorrect. I even asked him if there was something going on, if this was, kind of a setup type thing. And I just, just we converse. Then he would get angry, and then, the person would get angry.
Yeah.
Now that I know.
So it says, you say no, we can chat. So what brings it on? And he said, okay, yeah, just look front, honestly. And he sends you a picture. You say, nice, bud. I meant, because you asked him for a picture.
Right.
And then he says, nice, bud. I meant more revealing, but I understand if you don't have any or want to. So you wanted a picture of what you thought was a 15-year-old, more revealing as in naked, maybe?
Probably at that time, at the moment, yeah. But
see how
like
that's a problem?
I do, but like I said, I never acted on it. So.
I know, but it's still a felony.
No, I know.
It's still illegal.
And I apologize.
I mean, it's not me to apologize, it's to the parents out there that got to worry about their
of course,
on the internet, because this is an everyday thing. There's 500,000 active online.
I know. There was a time before that someone had done it, and I just completely just zoomed away, because I know that's. So
when he asked, or you asked to hang out, and he said sure. You said what do you have in mind, and then he said I'm down for whatever. You can be real.
I did get graphic.
Yeah,
I remember those.
And what did you say? Would you want to? Is what you asked him.
I did.
So what you think is a 15-year-old?
Like I said, it was just fantasy at the time and foolishness.
And you say, well, you're honest, and plus I was once, so you think just because you went through this that it's okay?
That was my mentality at the beginning.
But this is a problem.
I know, but it's like I said.
Does your husband know that you have fantasies or talk to what you think is?
He doesn't. He will now.
And then you say, so he says, what kind of things are we gonna do? And you say, let's start with what you have done before. And then he goes, you can just tell me what it is, and you say, I like to rim, get sucked, top,
like I said,
raw, till I bust inside, to what you think is a
I was just being inappropriate. I was.
I mean, you do private lessons for music, right?
I used to. I left the music business because of COVID.
Yeah.
My mom's with us.
Yeah.
So, and I played the oboe, and there's a lot of reeds and spittle.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to bring, any of that home or give them, because I have to make them myself. And there's sterilization type stuff. But yeah, that was my former career.
Round though.
Well, never before rock. This has never happened before.
I mean, I don't.
No,
know
I know
that,
you don't know. I know you don't know that, but conversationally and stuff, yeah.
I mean, you see how this is a real problem, correct?
It's an issue. Yeah, I've seen the videos.
Because you could have showed up, and it could have been a 15-year-old, and you could have been putting him in harm and changing his life. You understand that?
I do.
Just because you say, oh, I wouldn't have done this or wouldn't have done that,
I know.
It doesn't matter what you say.
You have to look at every contingency.
I mean, because you just looked at me and told me you were more worried about his, well-being in the beginning, and then you just kind of change it.
And then we did. We went dark. I did. I proved it dark because he kind of left it a little lighthearted, and then
And you said, I prefer not to meet at Publix if that's okay. I mean, like where? One of the gas stations or something. What's the difference is what the decoy says. And what do you say? What does that say?
I see.
Read that.
Less people, etc. Plus I can justify getting gas.
Plus I can justify getting gas before, which is a year-old. I mean,
I'm sorry.
But you're sorry you're caught. You're not sorry because
True.
True.
I thought, like I said, today was you know what, this is crazy. It's so funny.
It's not funny.
No,
all.
I meant in the issue of.
I mean, you're lucky it's us and not a parent or someone else. The other catcher groups that don't care about law enforcement,
Yeah.
and I'm not like that. I do. So I want to do this right, and what I'm reading right here is absolutely disgusting, man. You say, so you're going to suck my and let me eat your hole and then slide in and breed you? You said that to a
I must have said I did.
Why would you say that?
Just fancy, just inappropriate thoughts. That's all. They were, just chatting. That's how I looked at it.
Decoy says, what's breed me mean? You say inside you.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Do you want that? I don't want you to do something you don't like. You're talking to a year-old. Do you have nieces, nephews? I see.
I do.
I mean, like.
I do.
Are those your sisters?
They're my sisters. The four of them. Mm-hmm.
Those ones?
Yes.
Right? I mean, your sister maybe got to worry about her uncle?
No.
How do you
Well,
how do I know that?
How do you know that? I know.
How do I know that, man? I mean, this is terrible. You think I want to be here doing this?
No, I know that. And I apologize.
This
You have to
sucks.
spend your time here.
I mean, dude, you're getting taken advantage of every day. And tell me, be honest, do you have any CP on your phone?
What's CP? No. No.
Nothing.
Nothing. 100% nothing.
And you're gonna tell me that this is your very first time ever.
100% first time. I have never done this before. Like I said, it was I was on the app, and the person had messaged and sent pictures. At first I thought, I was like, God, 18, 19, something young.
And then he said right away when she
Then
got
he
on
said
text, and that's where you as an adult should do what?
I should have swiped away, but I was going through some major.
So you were going through some problems, so
Yes.
you thought maybe, you know what, screw it.
Cause another problem. Yeah.
I mean,
It was wrong.
he asked, you asked, where are we going? He says, my place. I want to nice. When is your mom's break? Like, how do I know you aren't going to do this to other parents out there?
It's true.
I mean, you're lucky you didn't show up, right? Because then if you would have showed up, you would be getting handcuffed right now at the location you showed up at. But you didn't. And, I'm glad you didn't make the decision to actually show up. But, I mean, what I'm reading here, this is illegal. Not only is it morally wrong.
Right. It's a felony. Are there programs
for people who are attracted to.
No.
I mean, because that's what it has to be. You can't tell me you're not attracted to him if you were willing to talk this way to him. Listen, I'm 30 years old. I've never in my life have had thoughts or even texted or messaged someone even close to under 18. Nowhere near anything.
It was foolish and total mistake on my part.
So for you to know that this person's texting you and then you continue the conversation, what does that say? You gotta be attracted. I don't care. You can use the bullshit you say you're going through.
No. It wasn't, like I said, the first.
What's your fantasy then?
The first
Explain
message.
it.
The first message I had received on Grindr, like I said, they had looked, set 18, 19 years old, and I was like, okay, because I'm older and whatever,
Right.
and it's one of those things like, hey, someone younger.
Well,
But
how
then-
many times when you're younger, or at least when I was younger, I made a Facebook or something and put an age just to make sure I can be on the account, even though I shouldn't. It happens all the time.
I'm 44. I had Facebook when it first started
So,
with colleges.
yeah,
no,
so
I
you were
didn't-
above
I
age.
didn't have any of that stuff.
Yeah, but
Where we
I'm
would change
saying-
profile names and stuff.
Yeah.
At the same
do it all the time. You don't have parents. Their parents aren't monitoring them, knowing what they're doing. They're on sites that they shouldn't be on, having ages set.
Yeah.
And then this person tells you right away, like, and then you got mad because he didn't respond, and he goes, I was with my friend last night. You go, you won't send me selfies or nudes. Come on, man. You found pushing. You know what I want. That's what you said.
I was pushing. Like I said.
You really want? So you gotta admit it. Like I mean, listen. I ain't gonna put words in your mouth, but you gotta admit that you obviously must be attracted to.
No, it's not. It wasn't that. Like I said, it was a lapse.
Send me a nude. What else could it be?
Well, I
don't ask someone to send me a nude unless I'm attracted to him.
I know. I think I was testing to see if I would be, but like I said, it never happened. And then when he didn't, I was like, you know what, that's good. And then we just kept chatting, and we would not chat and chat. And,
I mean, I don't get it. Like why? And then you've come back to a message in him when
when he said he's blind. I don't know. Just stupid.
But what is going through your head to make you do that? Your relationship, your husband's not good, so you're like, screw it, maybe dabble into this?
I think when that message first happened on Grindr, I think that's where my mind went. Like, the forbidden type shit. And that was what I did.
Because you were cautious, that's why you said, send me an pic and then we'll meet.
Yeah.
Because if you saw that, then you thought, okay, he has to be real.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you ask him, you want to blow me? Like, there's only, and then you say, I want to see you naked, maybe, are you a virgin or have you before? Would you change your mind if I was a virgin? I'm just asking if you are. I don't mind being your first. Are you kidding me, Marco? But you're sorry just because I'm confronting you. You're not sorry because you actually care.
No, I'm
Tell the parents out there they're gonna worry about this.
I'm morbidly embarrassed, but I am truly sorry. Like I said, I knew it was foolish. That's why every time we had set something up, I never acted on it. Every time.
Because why?
Just when you get that realization where it's like, this is wrong, and that was it, because it never happened. It was just it was just chatting and inappropriate texts. That's all.
I mean, to tell a 4-year-old you want to breed him.
It's terrible. It's even worse to hear it out loud. It's one thing when you're typing it, you read it in your head, but to hear someone else say it out loud, it's truly awful.
I'm just asking if you are. I don't mind being your first. If you have, I'm down to breed you. I'm down to breed you. I mean, come on. How would your mom feel if she knew this? Your husband.
They will.
You gonna tell him?
Yeah.
Why are you gonna tell him? Because you want help?
Yes. Because I like I said, I thought today was the end of it.
When you were 13, did you have anybody ever take advantage of you when you were younger?
No.
So you've never been
No.
So there's no back trauma that caused this.
That was the first question my parents asked me when I came out at 18. Is if because I had a gay uncle who died of AIDS. If he had ever, and I said never, and it was never anything like that. I had never done it myself. I had never had it done to me, and it was just just like I said, it was one of those moments like, wow, someone who's young and messaging is just stupid, foolish, truly.
And then you tell me you never actually pulled up, but how creepy is this? Not only do you use a fake name, fake everything, you even said you sat in the Ollie parking lot. You did. Did you not?
In the what parking lot?
The Ollie's parking lot when you were going to meet at Publix the very first time. Did you not go over there and sit in the Ollie parking lot? You never went and...
I don't remember.
Okay, you'll remember if you actually did try showing up. Did you show up to meet him the first time and not actually go to Publix but park in a parking lot?
No.
You never did?
No, it was all
chat. Well, you said you did.
It was all chat. Well, I was lying in that regard.
So you just wanted him to feel like...
Yeah. Because I remember him saying, oh, you're playing me, and I kind of was, because every time the thought would happen, I'd be like, this is insane. And I would. But
and
no,
then
that never
after
happened.
You bailed a bunch and Decoy told you to screw off, please... I listen, I understand you don't want to, and I don't want to be here doing this.
Of course.
And I know it's embarrassing, but like you just said, it's a lot worse hearing it. I want you to read exactly what you say here after he doesn't text you back.
I know you don't want to speak to me, and we were most likely never meeting, but I was wondering if I could have a new off to. I came bucket off to your feet. My wife and I don't do anymore, so off is pretty much it for me. Let me know. I still want you and would like to meet, but I understand. Let me know about the pic. It can be your extra or please, bud. It's
Hey, did you get my last text? Please write me back. Let me fix this. Look, that's 6 messages you sent in a row.
I know. And like I said, it was just back and forth banter in my
Dude,
in my head.
What the F is what the decoy says after all those texts, and you go, I know you're in school. Like, man, there is no, you are like, yes, he is a girl, then I'm fully aware of this.
Well,
That's the problem.
He had told me that, you know, he had classes and stuff. I mean, it's you know, the school hours are all pretty much the same. So for the age group, it makes sense.
The decoy asks you, what do you want? You say, to talk to you, to say I'm sorry. I know your ass and mouth will feel great on my. Dude, you had 3 chances to meet. You say, come on, man, you're not. You don't want some. I got big loads, and I taste good from what my wife has told me. Your wife, which is, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Does he take the female role in the relationship?
No, we don't do any of that. It's just my way of hiding and chatting.
I mean, you see how
I do.
I just like I'm.
I apologize for wasting your time and all that stuff.
You didn't waste our time. This
No,
is what we do.
I know, and thank you for doing what you do. It is
Why are you saying thank you though?
Well, it's important.
What, to catch people like you? Or do you think that do you truly believe that you're not?
Oh no, I know I need to seek some kind of counseling.
Well, tell me why. You
wasn't
gotta
right.
be honest with me. You're gonna tell me, like, cause I already kind of know some. You're gonna tell me that there's nothing ever, never had any incidents ever. This is your very first time.
Never. Very first
And you're that comfortable talking about it.
What do you mean?
You're that comfortable talking about what you want to do with the, and you're telling me it's your first time?
Well, yes, of course.
What is it? What are you guys about to
fantasy.
break up or get a divorce?
No, just frequency's not as much, and you know that's why I was on the app, and just like I said, it snowballed, but never once, not once. I have no incidences. I'm fingerprinted through the FBI for
That's crazy.
I mean, yeah. Why are you fingerprinted through that?
when I did fittings for the schools, instrument fittings.
You did instrument fittings and bands.
Of course.
How old were these kids
Middle
that?
school.
And do you not see? This is the same age you're talking to.
I know. I like I said, it was just a lapse moment in judgment talking to this person who had messaged me, but they were on an adult app.
There's sounds. Listen,
no, I know. I
You're
understand
making
that.
excuses.
I'm not making excuses. I understand what some people do and what some people don't. But when you're on there, just chatting or whatever, and you get a picture like, oh hey, what's up? Then
I'm just telling you, if I go
know.
ask 10 people that have a brain and I say, hey, you come across someone who says, hey, I'm only, what do you think they're gonna say?
It's wrong. Don't do it.
I mean, you literally could endanger a.
I know.
But you know, and
You're saying I know, like,
But I
very
don't think you
comfortably.
know.
I'm not saying it comfortably. I'm just saying that I know what the consequences are. That's why it was never acted on. It was just chatting. It was just, fantasy. That's all it was. That's why never once did I ever get in the car or go to any kind of lots. It was all told. It was all.
And you didn't do it because you knew it was wrong.
Because I knew it was wrong.
But then you
100%.
still kept on reaching out to him.
Yes. Yes.
You're not explaining why. Why?
Just like I said, just someone to talk to. Someone, just whatever. That's what it was. It was literally something like that. That's all it was. I've changed a lot of stuff, and it was just, a lonely period. That's all.
So the lonely period, fighting with your husband, not being intimate with him, led to you when you came across someone who's, you thought, you know what? Let's just fantasize a little bit and see where it goes.
That's how that started. Yes.
Can I?
And the chats. Yes. Sir.
Can I say something? So you realize that even if you're just chatting with these who you think is a year-old boy, that can literally change his life forever. Like he's gonna now think about that for the rest of his life, and that's gonna mess up his head for the rest of his life. And it's all because you have a fantasy and you were just bored. You want to talk to a 13-year-old.
That's all.
And what do you
that's
mean
why
changed a lot of stuff? What does that mean?
Just changed careers, changed jobs, moved.
Yeah, could you imagine if we sent this to your work? It'd suck, right? I mean, dude, you're doing this to yourself.
I know. I was on a self-destructive path.
And on a path that you were bringing someone else along with you.
Via chat.
Huh?
Via chat, because like I said, it was never in person. And
I really think that you were in Ollie's,
You
like
understand
luring.
you understand that doesn't matter if you showed up or not. You were soliciting a mic. You were talking
I
to
know.
him.
It's
Under
wrong.
your knowledge, what you thought was his mouth and butt would feel good around your. Marco, you gotta do better, man. As an American, as a human, someone that like.
Ran out of storage. I got on this one though.
I mean, you see the problem?
I do.
I mean, you say that, and it's just so hard to actually believe that, though.
I know.
If you've seen
it's a horrible thing, and no matter what's said, it's the act of talking is bad enough than just even meeting. So I understand that.
But that's the problem. I personally don't think you understand. I think that you're getting caught, and I think if we didn't show up today, that you would have
been a next meet.
You would have
and
set it
then
up
a next
again.
meet.
Tell me you won it because you did it 6 times, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens when the day comes that you do it? Is there anything you want to say to yourself? Like, is there any other than all the bullshit excuses?
Sure.
I think you should tell your husband while we're here, because I don't believe that you're gonna tell your husband when we leave and the honest
I can
truth.
tell him.
You want to have him come down here and talk to us?
Yeah, go get him.
Yeah. Okay.
How you doing, sir? Sorry you gotta be drugged into this. So I work with alongside a nonprofit organization called PCI. I'm with 561 PC. We monitor online activity between and adults. Your husband here has been having a conversation for 2 months now with what he thinks is a little boy, and was planning on meeting him and having with him, and has been very, very graphic in what he wants to do, and was supposed to meet him today at 4 o'clock, and said his wife was working. He says he has a wife, but obviously he has a husband. It doesn't make a difference, but it's the fact that he didn't show up, so obviously he isn't getting arrested there for showing up to meet them, but he still did the messaging, which is still a felony. If we go and report this, that's why I asked him to speak with me. But usually, if they would show up, I would still ask them to call their spouse, or if they're younger, call their parent, just so that someone can hold them accountable. But I just want to let you know, informed. I can show you everything. I have all the from top to bottom. If you want to read it, but your husband here has been talking for 2 months with what he thinks is a 15-year-old boy, and talking very, very graphic. And he just told me he didn't know that it was a felony or illegal, which I just informed him that it very much so is. And you don't have to meet to get arrested for it, right? You know how many guys haven't met and they still get arrested after, right? It's using a communication device to yeah, yes.
You know the charge, and he still did it.
I mean, it's just an upsetting thing. I like from the bottom of my heart, like I told him, I don't want to be here doing this, but I also have people in my life that are victims of this, from talking to people online and then meeting them and being. And if somebody doesn't hold you accountable, right? He loves you, he's your husband, then I'm sure he's gonna take responsibility and hold you accountable for it, but you gotta do better. You could have put someone's life in danger. You understand that?
I do.
He's planned to meet up with the over 6 different times, and each time he bailed. And then he would respond back saying, please, I'm sorry, I messed up, I messed up, let me fix this, please, 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 begging our decoy to come meet up. And he says it's his first time. He says he's never done nothing like this before, but what's alarming to me is that he used to do fitting for band students, and he worked around, and I don't know what's his first time or what it's not. I mean, he lies about his name, said his name's Brian, says all this stuff, says he has a wife, like, you have nieces, your sister's, and I mean, you know where most of the problems come from are within the family.
Within the family, yeah. That's why my parents asked me about my uncle when I came out.
And I'm just saying to, you know, and you're affecting more than yourself. Just because you're going through problems, you're depressed. He said you guys aren't intimate, you guys haven't been getting along, or whatever his bullshit excuse is to drag someone else into his issues. It's not an excuse. You affect him, you affect your mom, You affect everyone around you when you do stuff like this. I know you say you know, but if you knew, you probably wouldn't be doing it. I don't think you actually know how real and how serious this is. There isn't. I need to let someone know that he knows or that cares about him to hold him accountable. But you got to do better as a man.
Is this like alarming that he? Is this like a surprise?
Well, yes.
I mean, it's maybe the best thing that your husband finds out so he can figure out what he needs to do, either in your relationship or for himself.
Yeah. I thought about that.
I mean, I hear you saying I know and I'm sorry, but I really think it's just because you got caught. It's not really because you're like, dang, dude, I would have just, I could have endangered it.
No, I'm sincere because I never acted on it.
And if you're worried about some mental health, when you said it, and I said, why'd you still chat with him when he told you? You said, oh, I was just concerned maybe he was, or maybe he was this.
At first,
can you admit that that's all bullshit?
No, at first I wasn't, because why was he on the... I know.
You asked him for a naked picture within seconds of sending that.
Yeah, you don't talk to people like that who are, especially a 10-year-old.
So now, how does that make sense?
I mean, it did cross my mind at first. True, it did. But like I said, it was just chat and fantasy.
I mean, you gotta do better, man. You can affect him, affect everyone around you, and that's so selfish because you're going through something selfish. Instead of working it out with your man and trying to figure out what you guys can do to be stronger, you're going off on the apps. What apps were you on other than Grindr?
Just that one. That's it. It's the only gay app that I know of.
And does he know that you're on Grindr?
Probably not.
Before, yeah.
I mean, I feel terrible for him, and I feel terrible for your family, and it does alarm me. It does make me very, very, very suspicious about your nieces and nephews. I don't care what you say.
I know.
You can tell me until you're blue in the face. It doesn't. If you could text this with someone you don't know and talk this way, what could you do with someone in person if you had them alone? I have no idea. Neither does anybody. Anything else you want to say for yourself? Sir, like I said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you gotta, be in this situation, and I'm bringing you in it, and it's not that I want to. I don't want to be here, dude. I don't want to do this. But I know how many out there get taken advantage of, and this stuff goes south because I don't know what you're into. Maybe you're on the low, you're doing. I have no idea. It's one of the biggest problems in the world, especially down in South Florida. And who knows what would happen if he would have got in your car, or you went to his house when his mom left for work like you wanted to. Nobody knows.
That's why it's integrity. It's what you do behind closed doors.
Alright, well. Like I said, if you wanted to see anything, I could send you show you everything. I mean, or you can take it for what it is. It's up to you. I gotta let somebody, because he didn't show up.
I'll show him on my phone. I brought him down. I'll show him on my phone. I will. It's the first step. Because like I said, it was just.
Yeah, see if there's facilities or somewhere you can get help.
Some kind of whatever. Like I said, it was just lapsed moment in judgment.
And that happens all the time with people, and they end up in prison because you know what, they make stupid decisions and they do something illegal like you were doing. And yeah, I'm not law enforcement by any means. I work alongside a nonprofit group. But this is it's just disappointing, man. I mean, sorry to the parents out there, and be sorry to your husband who's
Doesn't seem like a bad guy, and he doesn't deserve that.
yeah. So when you're telling me sorry. Don't be sorry to me. Sorry to him.
No, I'm sorry you have to come.
This is what we do.
I know.
Unfortunately,
And you
it's what we
told me,
do.
And then you told me you've seen videos, you know about this stuff. Seen videos, why are you doing it? Like, why? Like, none of it makes sense unless you have an attraction towards. There's no other thing that makes sense. Nobody that's just.
No, and I could see where that's construed, but like I said, it wasn't that. It was just chat and fantasy. You know.
That's what we mean, a fantasy with a year-old.
I know,
And that's an attraction.
And it's wrong. And it's inappropriate. But well, I mean, true attraction would have been acting on the impulse. And
Attraction is fantasy, and
you know how many you didn't meet up the 6 times that you planned it, but you know how many times I've caught people where they bail 5 or 6 times and they show up on the 7th time?
Okay.
All the time. Probably half my catches are like that. They don't just show up the first. I know, like, I get it because your conscience came into play, right? Every time?
Of course, yeah, every time.
And then he would say screw off, and then you would blow him back up, correct?
Yes.
Begging him. Literally begging him, right? We just read it.
Yeah.
Please, let me fix this. Please, please. What you think is a year old begging a year old. You're 44 years old. You gotta do better. Hopefully he shows you and he's honest with you. I mean, you did bring him down, so I do appreciate you holding yourself accountable there, but you gotta do better, man. Alright, we're out of here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video. Yeah. It kind of gets hard for us, or like myself, when I'm questioning these guys or talking to them, honestly, when they're just so open and they're just like, yeah, I did it, I said it, it's wrong, I know it. It's kind of like, you know, like it's weird, right? It's kind of like you don't gotta get them to confess because they just tell you straight up. And that was kind of like the situation, you know. He was very, you know, he didn't really lie about anything and kind of took accountability. Doesn't make it any better. Just saying, for us, when we're questioning him, kind of run to a point where you're just running in circles now, you know. And thankfully, you know, we were able to hand over all this evidence to the officers. And I think, you know, again, this is in a time where these cases are tricky, with us not being technically law enforcement and turning over evidence. Hindsight, fast forward now, you know, we're getting all these guys charged and convicted. Thankfully for the awesome state attorney here in South Florida and the awesome officers here in Delray Beach and Boynton Beach. We're starting to see progress and make things happen. But man, this guy, I mean, he was a music teacher around saying these type of things. I don't believe it. You know, he's never done it before. I don't believe that. I don't think somebody talks that way to someone they think is that age for the first time and just says all the type of stuff. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. Thankfully, at least we're able to, you know, have his man out there, if that's what you want to call it, his boyfriend, husband, whatever he is, his partner, to, you know, let him know and let him be aware of what's going on, because yeah, you know, that's not fair to them. And as much people, you know, the few comments we get when we involve people's spouses, they say it's none of, you know, your business to bring them in, but I think it is. I think anybody who is an adult that is talking a certain way to an age that is not acceptable deserves to get exposed at all levels. It doesn't matter who we expose them to, right? I mean, obviously we're posting this so the whole world's gonna see it, but I think that's a good thing, guys. I think their spouses, I think their partners, I think they need to know, right? Because what if, you know, they have nieces or nephews, or their spouse has a, you know, a kid or whatever, and then you just never know people's true colors. And that's why, you know, these videos are so important to expose and shine light on it. And yeah, guys, I mean, this one was just one of those ones that I kind of came to a point where I was beating a dead horse just because he was answering everything and being so, honest. But it's still good for them to say it out loud and to hear themselves read back what they're saying, and for me to read it to them and make them process like the magnitude of the situation and what they're actually doing. I mean, hence why half these guys end up don't showing up, or real skeptical, and they require or request all these certain things to try to prevent themselves getting in trouble. Every single one of them, guys. Every single one of them knows it's wrong. They all say, oh, are you a cop? Or this sounds like this, or I could get in trouble for this, or this is really dangerous for me if I do this, or this is a felony. That's your answer, right? For anybody that's watching that is one of these people, like, if you feel conviction, you feel like, hey, I know this is wrong, that's it. That's all you need to trust your gut. Don't be doing this. Like I said before in the past, I don't want these guys to show up. I want them to think, you know what, I don't need to be doing this. But with guys like this who are, he was a music teacher before, gave lessons around children, they need to be exposed, because who knows what he's done in his past that never got caught, But again, guys, I can't thank you guys enough for the support. I have no plans stopping. Let's keep doing this. Let's keep exposing these guys. Shout out to PCI. They decoyed this catch. Shout out to my man Chris for marching himself up those stairs and, knocking on this guy's door and not knowing what's going to be behind the door. So shout out to my man Chris, and shout out to all you guys, all your donations, all your support, sharing this video, commenting on it. It all helps, guys. It all gets funneled back into it. And I don't think you guys realize how big of a difference we're making. I mean, let me explain something. From us doing this, we have our police departments now getting certified in doing these type of stings, from a cop's, standpoint. That's incredible, guys. Just because of our videos, just because of how much light we're shining on this, they're feeling the need to get certified so they can start doing it. Delray has started doing it, and Boynton. How great is that, guys? That's a testimony to what we're doing, and it gets me excited, and to know that what our efforts are getting taken seriously, right? And this just isn't getting overlooked, because you guys, it happens every day. And you'll never hear about it because news stations, people don't publish it. They don't put it out there. But this happens every day. If it's not off dating apps, it's off of video games. Check out my Instagram soon here. I'm going to post about a case with a guy meeting a kid off in a video game. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. But I think what we're doing here with 561 PC is just, we're shining light and setting the bar on how serious this is. So again, guys, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Let's keep protecting the children. 561 PC. Peace.